you doing? This is Wayne S. Pierce for the American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. If you are so inclined to go check out the website. Excuse me. Seasonal allergies, I hate them, man. I just got over, some crap a couple of months ago. Now I got this again. Holy crap. But coffee helps. Lots going on for the 17th of August, 2017. Yeah, just, oh my God. Where do I begin? Where do I begin? Where's all this insanity going to end? I say where, not when, because you know damn well it's not. But now, I said in a previous podcast something about conflicts. There's always going to be conflicts, even in Washington, D.C. InfoWars is reporting the 17th of August, 2017, Trump blasts Lindsey Graham's disgusting lie about President's Charlottesville comments. Rhinos team up with MSM to smear the president. You see, the Democratic Socialists, the Republican Fascists, the neocons, the rhinos, dinos, and linos of Washington, D.C. have run out of ammunition in terms of, everything that they use to pull the wool over everybody's eyes. Everybody now gets it and understands it. Not everybody, I shouldn't say that. Most people who are thinking correctly understand what's going on and see through the bullcrap. Okay? We know this, we understand this, there it is. These people have run out of ammunition and now they're just in a smear mode to try to just, whatever, they throw whatever it is out the wall. If it sticks, great. If it doesn't, hey, let's find something else. They're done. The political parties in America should be completely and totally abolished. Right now, today, the 17th of August, 2017. That means you get rid of the lobbying groups, you get rid of the special interest groups, you get rid of all that, and we'll have an America of, by, and for the people. Not of, by, and for the corporations and the elites. InfoWars 17 August 2017. Trump blasts Graham's disgusting lie about President's Charlottesville comments. Rhinos teaming up with MSM to smear President. President Trump tweeted his disgust with Lindsey Graham after the South Carolina senator twisted his words regarding extremist groups and the Charlottesville chaos. Quote, publicity-seeking Lindsey Graham falsely stated that I said there is moral equivalency between the KKK, neo-Nazis, and white supremacists and people like Ms. Heyer, unquote, Trump wrote. Quote, such a disgusting lie. He just can't forget his election trouncing. The people of South Carolina will remember, unquote. Quote, the public is learning even more so how dishonest the fake news is. They totally misrepresent what I say about hate, bigotry, etc. Shame, unquote. There it is. I'm done. I can just go right there and leave it right there and be done for the rest of the day. But I won't. Because there's a hell of a lot more that people need to know. Now, I'm going to ask a question. And I really want some interaction on this, so please, drop over to American Liberty Radio Podcast on Facebook and give me your answer. If you would, please. Thank you. The question is this. Do you want to live in a free society where people are liberated to the point of having the freedom to conduct their business as they see fit and follow their conscience, or do you want a complete and total tyranny in the United States of America? Give me your answer. American Liberty Radio podcast on Facebook. The MSN, the mainstream propaganda media, I'm just going to call them that. Mainstream propaganda media. WND, World News Daily, or World Net, whatever it is. I can't remember exactly what it is now. Well, let's go find out, and I'll tell you exactly what it is. How's that? That's always good, right? You always want to know the truth. You always want to know the facts. The world in which we live in has a definite problem. Okay. Huge, massive, freaking problem. Yeah, it's WND. And this particular article is on the mobile.wnd. 17th of August 2017, leftist violence goes mainstream in America, sustained political street warfare not seen in U.S. since the 1960s. Time to put these rabid assholes down. You heard me. What happened in the 1960s? I was 6 years old in 1968, and I was watching the news and seeing all these riots, all these protests for peace because of the Vietnam War. I was 6 years old, folks. 6 years old, watching this. It took me from being a 6-year-old with the idea of just going outside and playing to this world is really screwed up. By the time I was 8 years old, in the 3rd grade, I was doing 5th and 6th grade material. By the time I was in the 9th grade, I was doing 12th grade math and college level English, equivalent to somebody being in college for a year and a half. Oh, you want to talk about a news and information junkie? From that point on, when I was 6 years old, everything that I could get my hands on, I could. And I read, and I did read, and I soaked it up. And I asked my mom, and I asked my grandma, and I just, was talking to people to try to get some clarity on what was going on. As I got older, I realized, man, we live in a screwed up world. I don't give one rip about how positive somebody is or how many Bible verses somebody uses to, say that they want to move God's heart to change society. It's never going to happen, folks. Let me just plainly put it to you that way. You can come up with all sorts of positive stuff. I do all the time. But it's for that moment, not for a sustained living or a sustained time of living. It's a portion of that moment that you use those positive affirmations and those, really positive views to get over that particular moment. But once you get over that moment, you can continue to look at life in a very different way. Yes, you can look at every adverse thing that you see in life and say, I can get over this, I can get around it, No, folks, let me just plainly, simply put it to you this way. None of the conflict in the current arena, if you will, is ever going to stop until we go through all of this. It's not going to be some magical little thing that people are just going to get whisked out of here. It's not going to happen. The reality of the situation is that you see what's going on, and by you hiding yourself away from it doesn't mean you're safe, because there's always going to be somebody that's going to find you. Just because you close your eyes doesn't mean the bad things are going to go away. You have to go through it. You have to go through it. The Democratic Socialist and the Republican Fascist, the Progressive Party, is throwing everything they can at you. Do you want to get weighed down by their idiocy and by their insanity, so where you academically and figuratively perish? Or do you want to stand up with the information that you have and push back harder than they will ever push forward? That's entirely up to you. But remember, all these little positive affirmations, all these little things that people are saying, that's just for the moment, not for anything else. And if you don't believe me, look at the very logistics of how all of that works. I have, or I wouldn't have said it. Leftist violence goes mainstream in America. Sustained political street warfare not seen in the U.S. since 1960s. WND, August 17th, 2017. That would be today. Leftists claim they are fighting hate and violence, and they cite the deadly protest in Charlottesville, Virginia as a prime example. But the evidence indicates the left is actually spreading hate and violence. Simply put, the difference is that there were never any right-wing mobs attacking Hillary Clinton supporters, while attacks on Trump supporters by leftists became the familiar sight during the 2016 presidential campaign and long after. And while there is no evidence of a growing right-wing extremist movement, even left-leaning journalists have found abundant evidence of the rapidly growing violent left-wing movement, as well as signs of it going mainstream, along with an increasing normalization of political violence. That's going up on American Liberty Radio podcast. Tell me whether or not you see any posts from American Liberty Radio podcast, because Facebook is now engaging in complete and total censorship of anything that is opposite their narrative. Steve Watson, Infowars.com, 17th of August 2017. Videos. MSNBC and CNN promote Antifa violence. Networks claims alt-left clubbings are, quote, preserving fabric of America, unquote. MSNBC and CNN aired programming Wednesday night that openly promoted violence by the alt-left Antifa agitators, claiming that the group's actions are justified in the face of neo-Nazism. By the way, folks, every single one of those Antifa groups, every one of them, they were created by the likes of George Soros. Go look it up. Antifa, George Soros, connection. Go to startpage.com and drop that into the search engine. I will not and cannot ever accept the opinion of someone who cannot back up what they say. No. Hold on. I know some of you are going to say, well, an opinion is just that. It doesn't need evidence. Doesn't need anything backing it up. Yeah, but your opinion that includes assertion, accusations, and all of that, and claims that you say are true, need all the evidence in the world to back up what you say. I'm not going to accept anything less. I don't even want to talk about Snopes or any other left-wing, far-left, liberal, anti-American website or link or book or anything of that nature, because it is just that, treasonous. It is absolutely treasonous, considering that Snopes is now asking for money because they're failing miserably because everybody caught on to their bullcrap. All right? I'm not accepting anything unless you got, I'll make it simple. You want to sit down at the table of debate? Bring your information with you. If you can't, there's the door. Bye, have a nice day. That's just the way it is. After Trump tweets, Amazon market value drops $5 billion. Retail giant stocks fall after president's accusation. RT.com is reporting this. Amazon's stock market fell. Let me read that again. Take two. Amazon's stock market value lost as much as $5 billion pre-market during the pre-market trading after Donald Trump tweeted that the online giant does, quote, great damage to tax-paying retailers, unquote. Trump has long accused Amazon of not paying its fair share of taxes. On Wednesday, Trump criticized Amazon on Twitter by saying it is hurting retailers and causing U.S. job losses. The president had previously tweeted similar attacks against the e-commerce company, as well as pointing out that its CEO, Jeff Bezos, also owns the Washington Post. After Trump's tweet, Amazon stock closed down 0.5%, according to CNBC. Quote, while this is not his first tweet about Amazon and taxes, and of course the Washington Post, we do find it interesting that he is now linking Amazon and job losses in traditional retail, unquote. Edward Ruma, a KeyBank capital markets analyst, wrote in a note to clients on Wednesday. How are these notes getting out, by the way? I'm going to put the rest of that on American Liberty Radio podcast. There's always going to be conflict, folks. Let me remind you of that. Always going to be conflict. Why? Basically, it's because of fear and misinterpretation and ego. That's basically it. That's why we have what we have in today's society. There's always going to be conflict because somebody's always going to think they're right more than someone else. There's always going to be conflict because something is not happening the way that someone else wants it to be. Am I in conflict with some people? I'm sure you are. Yes, I am. To technically answer my question, of course. But does that mean that I'm going to sit there and go riot or go, stage something or have a sign out in front of a business or anything? No. That's just, in some cases that works. But what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia was just completely stupid. And what they're trying to do now in the South by taking down all these Southern monuments that are part of our history to show where we came from and where we are today, yeah. These people need to be packed up, shipped off, sent to prison, and that's just the way it is because they are committing treasonous acts against the United States of America. And some of them, in some groups, have declared an academic figurative war against the United States of America. So don't give me no more crap. I know exactly what's going on. And by the way, Montana is slowly slipping into the hands of the globalists. So I don't know. I forget the governor's name. Sorry, I apologize. I live here. I should know. But he better not, or he will see hundreds of thousands of people pissed off. But I don't think too many of them really care about much. They won't take to the streets. You won't see 10,000 people in the streets, protesting against what the governor does in the state of Montana. You won't. Why? Because you won't. Lazy? No. They just don't care. I challenge 500 people. 500 people in the city of Billings, Montana, to get out in the street and to protest whatever unconstitutional laws there are that the governor of Montana is trying to put through, and protest his involvement in the groups that are funded by the globalists. I challenge 500 people in the city of Billings, Montana, to go out and do this. And if you can't, you just prove my point. You don't care. Now, who's going to lead it? I don't know. Pick somebody. Not me. Not that I wouldn't stand right there next to you, because I would. You know that. Because America is my home. The United States of America, where I was born and raised, is my home, and I will defend it from enemies foreign and domestic. And if you got the balls, those 500 people that I challenged, if you've got the balls to get out there and do that, then you go do that. Because you don't need a leader. You got each other. And as far as I'm concerned, that's good enough. You got questions? I got answers. Email me, AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com, AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Oh, I'm sure you got questions. I'm sure of it. Here's something I've known for a couple of decades. Mises.org, MISES.org, per Byland. How welfare states make us less civilized, the effects of the welfare state. Read you a couple of paragraphs here. Throughout history, the state has justified itself on the grounds that it is necessary to protect us from others who habits and beliefs who are meant to believe are dangerous. Let me read that again because it's very, very important to hear that. Throughout history, the state has justified itself on the grounds that it is necessary to protect us from others whose habits and beliefs, we are meant to believe, are dangerous. For millennia, this fiction was easy to maintain because most people interacted so little with people outside their nearly autarkic or therefore impoverished communities. Autarkic. I'll put this up on American Liberty Radio podcast so you can go find the definition of that word. Let's go look at it now, shall we? I'm going to stop right there and give you the definition of that word. I was always told that if you don't understand a word, grab a dictionary. Okay? And for some odd reason, it's not, well, crap. Okay. Let me spell it out for you. It's AUTARKI. Okay, something's wrong with my thing here, so let's do that one more time. Don't you hate it when that little progress bar at the top of your browser is just sitting there spinning? It's just crazy. Well, let me read you the rest of the article, and I'll give you the definition in the comment section of this article when I put it up on American Liberty Radio Podcast on Facebook. For a millennium, this fiction was easy to maintain because most people interacted so little with people outside of their impoverished communities. But with the rise of individualization and international trade in recent centuries, the state's claim that it is necessary to keep us quote-unquote safe from outsiders has become increasingly undermined. Much of this is thanks to the fact that in order to benefit from the market, one must engage in activities designed to serve others and anticipate their needs. As a result, trade increases our understanding for both members of our community and even the stranger. It also makes us realize that other people are much like us, even if they speak strange languages or have odd customs and traditions. This is going up on American Liberty Radio Podcast along with the definition of that word, and I think I know what it means now, but I'm going to put it up anyway for those that don't. Well, something's not right there, so I can't give you the definition. So, I will put it up there, okay? So anyway, I don't know. It's not showing me a definition. So let me go spell that word out for you again so you guys can look it up. AUTARKI. A-U-T-A-R-K-I-C. That's A-U-T-A-R-K-I-C. I don't know if that's being spelt right or not. I have no idea. So let me try something else. There it is. Merriam-Webster's Dictionary.com. Of, relating to, or marked by autarky. Okay, let's go take a look at autarky, shall we? Let's go. All this is a quality of being self-sufficient. Usually the term is applied to political states or their economic systems. Autarky exists whenever an entity can survive or continue its activities without external assistance or international trade. If a self-sufficient economy also refuses all trade with the outside world, then it is called a closed economy. That's what it means. Okay, then. But go look it up for yourself. A-U-T-A-R-K-I-C. It's up on American Liberty Radio Podcast. I don't know, folks. I mean, I'm on the side of those who want peace, freedom, liberty, and security in the United States of America, who are willing and able to defend this nation from all enemies, foreign and domestic, period, end of sentence. That's, bottom line. That challenge is still open to 500 people of Billings, Montana. I want to see them out in the streets. As a matter of fact, when I see it, I'll go do a live interview with some people. How's that? You make it your own cause. You make it your own purpose. But when you look at the state of Montana and the state of affairs of the United States of America, and you see things failing miserably everywhere, and your own home on the brink of collapse, I would think that somebody with, some common sense would realize, wait a minute, something's wrong here and we have to defend ourselves. I'm just putting it out there, folks. I'm just putting it out there. Why was this crowd hire company recruiting $25 an hour, quote, political activists, unquote, in Charlotte last week? If your cause is worthy of protest, then why would you need to pay $25 an hour to get people to show up? I'll talk about that after the break, because the whole situation, and I know people died, and I know people got hurt and all that. That's collateral damage to the globalists. Then they sit there and wring their hands and laugh. The whole thing in Charlottesville, Virginia, was totally put together and staged, and it's all J.J. McCartney, or is that his name? J.J. McCarthy, or whatever. Thank you, J.J. He put up a post earlier today saying that it is infutable. It is infutable. Or was it Natural News? I'm going to have to go look during the break. Infutable proof that the whole thing in Charlottesville, Virginia was staged. If I don't find any information when I get back from the break, look it up. Startpage.com, Charlottesville, Virginia, completely staged. I'll be back right after this. Don't go away. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com.
One fact at a time, without all the BS. This is the American Liberty Radio Network.
This is Wayne S. Pierce from the American Liberty Radio Network. Your contributions to American Liberty Radio Network are very important to us. please consider contributing to American Liberty Radio Network. You can go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Click on the sponsors page and consider advertising on the network or donating to the network. Become a patron or donate through PayPal. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com.
Late Night in the Midlands is for the people, by the people. No shady backroom deals here. We expose the truth, no matter who it leads to. We are an independent media who holds no one above the truth and have no alliances and no agenda. We offer our shows absolutely free because the truth will set you free, and we believe it should be free. However, we do ask that you donate, and we also offer subscriptions to help support our work and keep LNM on the air. We are not mainstream media that is owned and controlled by the New World Order. We are not alternative media that has been infiltrated with paid agents in wild fantasy. No. We are a free-thinking, free-speaking, tell it like it is, independent media that just happens to cover everything but not fall for anything. The best guests, the best information, Late Night in the Midlands, independent media, exposing the truth, one show at a time.
When you absolutely, positively don't want to hear any more bull, listen to American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com.
American Liberty Radio Network.
Nova Center for the Performing Arts presents The History of America, Abridged. Who really discovered America? Why did Abe Lincoln free the slaves? How many Democrats does it take to screw in a light bulb? Nova Center for the Performing Arts will answer those questions and more. That's The History of America, Abridged, presented by Nova Center for the Performing Arts. For more information about dates and times and tickets, contact Nova Center for the Performing Arts on their website at novabillings.org. Welcome. American Liberty Radio Network, right here on Spreaker.com for the 17th of August, 2017. Go to our website at AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com for more information, if you are so inclined to do so. This is American Liberty Radio Network podcast. I do this every day for you. So if there's anything you want to know, anything that you want to share, anything that you want to contribute to the network, please consider it. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Why was this crowd hire company recruiting $25 an hour for a quote-unquote political activist in Charlotte last week? If your cause is worthy to protest, then why would you need to pay $25 an hour to get people to show up? Zero Hedge is reporting this on the 17th of August, 2017. That would be today. Trump ignited a political firestorm during an impromptu press conference in which he said there was, quote, blame on both sides, unquote, for the tragic events that occurred in Charlottesville over the weekend. Now, the discovery of a Craigslist ad posted last Monday almost a full week before Charlottesville protest, is raising new questions over whether paid protesters were sourced by a Los Angeles-based, quote, public relations firm specializing in innovative events, unquote, to serve as agitators in counter-protests. The ad was posted by a company called Crowds on Demand and offered $25 an hour to, quote, actors and photographers, unquote, to participate in events in Charlotte, North Carolina area. Got a little verklempt there. While the ad didn't explicitly define a role to be filled by its crowd of quote-unquote actors and photographers, it did ask applicants to comment on whether they were, quote, okay with participating in peaceful protest, unquote. Here is the text from the ad, and I will put them a couple of videos as well. So I'll put this on the American Liberty Radio podcast. Everything is staged, folks. Everything is staged. MSN, the mainstream propaganda media, the protest in Charlottesville, Virginia, Boston bombing, 9/11. It's all staged. Why? Why is it staged? That's what we want to find out. And who's doing this? And whoever is doing this needs to be arrested, and their ass needs to be thrown in prison for the rest of their lives for treasonous actions against the United States of America and its citizens. I said it. What are you going to do about it? I'm just a monkey behind a microphone. But I know enough information to tell you about it, to let you know, and to encourage you to go look this stuff up. Now, whether or not you want to, that's entirely up to you. I'm telling you what's going on. Okay? Washington Examiner, 17th of August 2017, Steve Bannon, quote-unquote, can't get enough of the, quote-unquote, race identity politics of the left. Quote, just give me more. Tear down more statues. Say the revolution is coming. I can't get enough of it, unquote. Let me explain. Steve Bannon argued Wednesday that President Trump would benefit politically from his much-criticized response to the violent Charlottesville, Virginia rally organized by white nationalists. It wasn't. Claiming that liberals are engaging in, quote-unquote, race identity politics. They are. Quote, President Trump, by asking, where does this all end, unquote, connects with the American people about their history, culture, and society, unquote, Bannon told the New York Times in an interview on Wednesday. Quote, the race identity politics of the left wants to say it's all racist, unquote. Bannon, the White House chief strategist, added, quote, just give me more. Tear down more statues. Say the revolution is coming. I can't get enough of it, unquote. Trump suggested Tuesday that a push to remove Confederate monuments could lead to an erasure of history, and statues of George Washington also being removed. There's a video, and it says read more, so I'm going to put this on American Liberty Radio podcast. I'm done, folks. I'm done with the idiocy of the left. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to call them all out. You are a bunch of neo-Nazis. Yes, I said that because that definition is refines and defines exactly where your philosophies are and puts you in a place 70 years ago? In the same place. You people would be fine standing in the arena where Hitler was speaking to the hundreds of thousands of people in the crowd. You would be just fine with that, you leftists, you democratic socialists, you Republican fascist. You'd be fine with all of that. So I don't want to hear it anymore. You people are complete idiots. Now, I know a bunch of friends who are in complete opposition to whatever it is I believe politically. But guess what? We still get along. How is that? Because we put it aside. We lay it aside and we say, hey, what can we do here? We have a job to do. Let's get it done. Instead of sitting here bitching at one another about what Trump is doing or what he's not doing or why Hillary would have been better or anything. Screw that. We got stuff to do. Let's get it done. That's two people on the opposite side of the political scale coming in and doing something and getting it accomplished, and then when it's done, we go back to our opposition, to our opposing views. Big deal. So what? Then why am I saying that all the people that disagree with me, that are opposed to what I say, need to put their stuff on the table? Because you're accusing me of being something I know I'm not. So shut the hell up or put your stuff on the table. I'm done with it. I'm done with you idiots out there. The people that know what I'm talking about are smart enough, and probably a hell of a lot smarter than I am, and they go out and do the research and find out that I'm right. And they will call me out if I'm wrong. I'm okay with that. But oh my God, you call out a leftist or a Democrat on what they are wrong about, they'll call you a racist, they'll throw all kinds of pejoratives at you. Is that the right word in that context? I'm kind of curious now. They'll call me every name in the book and make up a few. These people are just totally pathetic, and I cannot stand, and I don't say this lightly. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. People call me every name in the book. They make up a few. And guess what? They're pathetic morons that absolutely have not had the opportunity or taken the opportunity to better educate themselves on things that they need to know about. Oh, you're calling people stupid. No, I'm calling people uneducated. Oh, yeah, you're calling them stupid. And that's where you're wrong. You misinterpret everything I say. People like Alex Jones and Michael Savage and Nick Tucker and Brian Lang and a bunch of us in the independent media, including Michael Vera, are always misinterpreted. Why? Because we're not saying what you want us to say. And guess what? You can go shove that concept right up where the sun don't shine. We're going to say what we have to say to get you to understand what's going on. And we encourage you to go look this stuff up. But if you're just going to sit there on your thumbs and bash everybody because they don't see things your way, you're basically a child throwing a temper tantrum. So bye-bye, there's the door. Have a nice day. BizPac Review, 17th of August 2017. Joint statement from George Bush Sr. and Jr. says exactly what Trump said. Former Presidents George H.W. Bush and George W. Bush called on Americans to reject, quote-unquote, hatred in all forms, unquote, in a joint statement. Former presidents released a rare joint statement Wednesday in a response to the deadly rally in Charlottesville, Virginia last weekend. Quote, America must always reject racial bigotry, anti-Semitism, and hatred in all forms, unquote, the father and son said in a combined statement from each of their offices. Quote, as we pray for Charlottesville, we are reminded of the fundamental truths recorded by that city's most prominent citizen in the Declaration of Independence. We are all created and endowed by our Creator with unalienable rights, unquote, they said, referring to Thomas Jefferson, unquote, quote, we know these truths to be everlasting because we have seen the decency and greatness of our country, unquote. So I'm just going to leave that right there. It's got a bunch of pictures of tweets. There's only two things that I got to say to people who oppose me. One, prove it. And two, if you can't, at least give me some semblance that you are that you are smart enough to carry on a conversation with me. Instead of just, lodging slurs at me or telling me I'm something I'm not or calling me a racist or prejudiced or anything. Just if that's all you're going to do, just shut the hell up and get the hell off my Facebook's friends list. I'm done. I'm freaking done. You people seem to think that, you leftists out there, you Bernie Sanders supporters, you Hillary supporters, you tyranny supporters, seem to think that the more you propagate your... let me put it to you this way. I'll just make it plain, simple, and straight to the point. You keep perpetuating your bullshit, you think that people are going to believe you. And you're wrong. Period. We're going to see right through your ass. Got it? Pardon the French, but I got to I got to be clear. I'm not going to pussyfoot around anymore. I don't like, cursing. I don't like any of that. But sometimes you got to make your point. Considering this, too, as well. Joel B. Pollack, Breitbart, 16th of August 2017, that was yesterday, threats force Hollywood Cemetery to remove Confederate memorial. Granite monument marked burial site. The Hollywood Forever Cemetery will remove a memorial to Confederate veterans buried at the site, thanks in part to threats of vandalism as well as requests from activists, according to a Tuesday report in the Los Angeles Times. Let me highlight that word, activists. No, they're frickin' morons. The Times notes that the granite monument marking the burial site was already vandalized on Tuesday. I'm going to put this up on American Liberty Radio. It's a short article, folks, but I'm going to put this up anyway. I'm going to say this. I'm going to make my point because I got something else I want to talk about. These are not activists, folks. These are not activists. Let me give you a comparison. 1984, 1985, round in there. Several years before that, we had this outbreak of this so-called unknown cancer in the Bay Area. We now know that as HIV and AIDS. Protesters were out there talking about and protesting and doing this and trying to get people to listen to the medical professionals and look deeper into this. It worked. We now have the medication that is able to help these people live longer. That is activism. That is activism. That is activists out there combining their efforts together to make a positive change in our society. That is activism. What happened in Charlottesville, Virginia is not activism. That's a staged event funded by groups that are probably funded by George Soros and his ilk and is nothing to do with activism. It has everything to do with 15 minutes of fame on the mainstream propaganda media and dividing this country through race, through economics, through politics, through religion. That is it. Period. That is why I am so passionate about what I do. That is why I'm so passionate about American Liberty Radio Network. And that is why I am passionate about getting people out in the streets and rallying them around a cause and having a purpose to change the things for a positive end. And if that means going, I believe correct me if I'm wrong, Billings, but I think the governor's name is Bullock. Go to American Liberty Radio Podcast and put your answer there. But we need to get out in the streets and we need to activate ourselves and engage in making things change for the better. Making things change for the better. We need to get rid of the hate. We need to erase the hate. We need to just push it aside. We need to tell people who are hateful, go away. We don't want you. You're pointless. You're pathetic. Your hate is screwing you over. And look at all the hate groups out there. Southern Poverty Law Center being one of them. Look at all the hate groups out there. They've been torn to pieces internally because of their hate. And hate leads to the thought of someone being treasonous against our own people. It's like trust issues. The trust in these groups is falling apart because No one knows who to trust anymore. And you're going to have groups, and I'm going to say this, you're going to have groups that are going to say they're for peace, freedom, liberty, and security, they're for America, they're for the flag, they're for this, but dig deep down through their roots politically. Dig down deep through their roots. You're going to find that they are connected to left-wing organizations, and boom, you've nailed them. They're infiltrators into the peace, into the liberty movement. And their ideologies don't match ours. And remember that. Most of your Ku Klux Klan, most of your, these motorcycle organizations, I don't want to call them gangs, but that's what they are, but they're organizations like, Hell's Angels and places like that, and other organizations similar to those things, the neo-Nazis, all that. Over 65% of every single one of those groups have been infiltrated and are possibly led by the federal government, period. End of sentence. Go look it up. Even your drug gangs in your cities, your street gangs have been infiltrated by known federal agents. So I don't want to hear it. But also, let me say this. If I am wrong, tell me, and I will publicly admit to it, that I was wrong. Go ahead. Go ahead. Challenge is still open to Billings, Montana. I want to see 500 people out there activated in engaging in making positive changes. Go for it. I want to see it, and I'll come down and I'll talk to you people. I will put you on the air live in the streets of Billings, Montana. You go ahead. Go ahead and do that. Are you willing to do that? Do you have the balls to do that? Do you have the backbone to stand up for peace, freedom, liberty, and security in the nation? I know there are veterans here, former veterans here as well. I'll talk to you. Let's go. Let's do it. You tell me where. You send me an email at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. You let me know when you're gonna do this. Go ahead. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. And when you get it all set up and you're ready to go, you can go to American Liberty Radio Podcast, or let me give you another one. You can even put it on your own website or Facebook page, and I'll share it. But go here, American Liberty Radio Network on Facebook. Post it there. Yeah, it's a heavy sigh day. 17th of August, 2017, The Hill, quote unquote, we worked very hard at it throughout the day. We were unsuccessful, unquote. Fox's Shepard Smith, we couldn't find a Republican willing to come and defend Trump. Fox News host Shepard Smith said Wednesday that the network tried and failed to get a Republican on air to defend President Trump's controversial comments on violence in Charlottesville, Virginia over the weekend. Quote, our booking team, and they're good, reached out to Republicans of all stripes across the country today, unquote, Smith said on his show, The Shepard Smith Reporting. Quote, let's be honest, Republicans don't often really mind coming on Fox News Channel. we couldn't get anyone to come on and defend him here because we thought in balance someone should do that, unquote. He continued, quote, we worked very hard at it throughout the day and we were unsuccessful. And of those who are condemning the president's condemnable actions, I've not heard any prominent leaders, former presidents, members of the House or the Senate use his name while speaking in generalities, unquote, he said. Well, did he not read the joint letter from the former president's Bushes? Huh? Obviously not. So there you go. Other fake news. I will call it that. The mainstream propaganda media is complete fake news. I'm going to continue to say that. Not because I want people to believe it, but because it's true. The mainstream propaganda media is fake news, period. By the way, folks, all of it, all of what I say is an opinion of my observations of what's going on. That's all. And I'm giving you articles. I'm reading articles to you. I'm giving you the sites. I'm giving you the sources. I just encourage you to go look it up. But that's entirely up to you if you really want to know the truth and the facts of it all. I didn't even get into the economy today. I wanted to get into the economy. I've only got a few minutes left, so I will hold that off till tomorrow. This is American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. If you oppose anything that I say, good, I want to hear from you. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Put in the subject line radio so I know it's from you. So you've heard this show. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. If you like the show, great. I applaud you. I give you a virtual high five. If you want to support and contribute to American Liberty Radio Network, you are more than welcome to do so, and I appreciate it very much. If you want to advertise on the network, hey, that's a win-win situation for you and I, so I'm heard all over the world, so you might want to consider that. You can go to AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. That's AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com. Go to the sponsors page. All the information is right there. And if you want to donate, you can donate from that page as well. Become a patron or donate through PayPal. There you go. At some point, this is what? Is this Thursday already? Yeah, this is Thursday already. Holy crap. Wow, this week went by fast, didn't it? I swear to goodness, it was just Monday. But tomorrow's Friday. In some cases in parts of the world, it is already Friday, so hello, have a good day. Yeah. We are living in a world that just cannot seem to get rid of hate. And it's all based on fear, misinterpretation, and ego. Huh. I wonder. I'm being a smartass, folks. Bottom line is, folks, you are the ones that guide yourselves to a future you desire. No one else does. And if you have hate in your heart and you just hate everything that is not your way, well, you're living a very miserable life, folks. I don't know what else to tell you. I really don't. I do know that there's a better way. I'd really think about it if I were you. In the meantime, folks, this is American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.weebly.com is the website. Go there, check it out, let me know what you think. Go to American Liberty Radio Podcast on Facebook to check out the articles I put up there today. And always remember, American Liberty Radio Network, sharing the truth, one fact at a time, without all the BS.